or with the knowledge that God doesn't like I eat. Simple. Like it is brought in this forum, yes? And it was...
So it didn't come as a surprise to you, it had been part of your
experience? Well, it was shocking because in spite of, we lived in a part where people could come over. It was sort of with Galicia and Poland, over the hills you could smuggle, and occasionally one or two people smuggled themselves and asked for help overnight, and they were telling us what horrible things are being done. Of course, nobody believed them. Nobody could believe something so horrible, and we used to say, oh, that is just asking because she wants a free meal or a bed and all that. But Daddy must have known already, because he just bit with my hair and said, you don't worry about it. And then overnight afterwards they sort of tried to put them up to Budapest, because at that time still Budapest was a little bit safer. Eventually, of course, Budapest was nothing. And also while we were the next day, while we were standing there, came a Polish woman or someone who's been there many years. And they resented, poor things. Some of them really were very helpful, and they gave their own life to help out others, and others became very bad, and they had no feeling for others, and they were pretty cruel themselves. I mean, some of them did quite a lot of dirty work for the Germans. And this was actually, I think, a woman who was, she came up and she said, you Hungarian pigs, you were eating and walking on carpets when they were burning us and killing us. She says, you see there, that oil, what is burning? That's where your little sisters and mothers and brothers are being burned. So the other one, who was very good, said, don't listen to her, she is, you know. So first we believed it, but we soon found out that unfortunately it is true. And so it went. But when we were sent to Germany to work in the munition factories, before we went, we had a shower and we were given normal clothing. We were allowed to choose even a coat and underwear and a proper, all these clothes of course came from people who were before us, who left them behind. And again we were in a wagon, a cattle wagon, but we were only 50 sent to this factory. So we were there, and a doctor and a dentist and a cook. And for some reason we had a German SS sitting with us inside, which I worked out must have been that it was his punishment, because the Germans were traveling first class and they didn't. And he was quite a nice man, he wasn't cruel, he asked an occasional question and all that. But the means of traveling was the same, with the bins and a piece of bread for the journey. I don't remember how long the journey took, also a few days, and it was already the end of November, and when we arrived there was already snow and very, very cold. But we got, the camp itself was a very, very big, must have been a magazine or something, where farmers held their stuff, because it was with straw, full of bits of straw. And we were sleeping the first night on the floor, but on the second night we were given all day long to clean the windows and fill sacks with straw, and there were bunks, also 3-tier, but single ones, and a blanket. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, we had to sleep in the same clothes, both in Auschwitz and in the Georgenthal, where we finished off, because we had nothing to change. We were given also, everybody was given a cup, and there was 2 long tables where we could sit and drink our tea. The food was the same menu, but the sleeping arrangements were better. And That didn't last, though, unfortunately, long, because we were joined, so we were just 50, so it was nice. But soon we were joined by 150 from another camp, because the Americans or the Russians came near, and so they put them. And about another month later, another 600 joined us. The food was more or less the same. We were once more very hungry and all that. And sleeping, we slept two on each single thing, a bunk, and lots more slept on the floor because they couldn't.
Did you know that the war was turning against Germany?
No, we didn't. We heard, but we heard it all the time, and you know, the only thing. I remember there was once an air raid, and some of the people were very happy that there was an air raid, and I remember I was that frightened. So that was that.
Looking back, what would you say is the most important factor in your survival?
The survival, no matter whatever anybody says. There were many people who wanted to survive because they wanted to tell the world. They wanted, some of them wanted to see their parents or siblings or what. It wasn't always possible. It is only, everyone who is a survivor is a miracle. It was just from Baruch Hashem. There is no other reason I can give, you know, because you had no control. They could shoot you, they could kill you anytime, never mind you wanted. You could help yourself by trying to keep well, because there were a few people who let themselves go and commit suicide. That you were free to do, because we were surrounded by electric wires, and if anybody really couldn't take it anymore, they went out at night and they touched the wire and they were straight away electrocuted. So kill yourself. But it's amazing how when people are in such terrible, dire situation, not many committed suicide, just here, there, one. Otherwise, not. But in Auschwitz, any German soldier who wanted to carry out any atrocities, nothing stopped them. Dr. Mengele carried out the twins. That was a craze for him, the twins. The only children he saved from the gas chambers were twins, because he wanted to experiment with these. And he would carry out all kinds of horrible experiments. Most of these, one of the twins was died because he would try to do horrible things without anesthesia or anything. And yet the children, some of them loved him, because he's the only one that he knew that he was like a father figure, so I'm told. I don't know. Thank God I wasn't there. And lots of horrible things. You can't really, no matter what you describe, nobody can describe everything in anything. How horrible it was, and there is no explanation. Even I, who went through it all, sometimes think, is it possible that I went through all that and I'm here, and I come to, when I make a cake, if it doesn't rise high enough, I get upset. Is that important? But that's how it is. But my cakes are pretty good.
Your cakes are fantastic, Mrs.
Thank you. Would you like me to finish with
Yes, perhaps.
I got something which I wrote down. Let me see if I just finish, because I keep on looking at the clock. As I said, I'm very conscious.
Can't until 9:30.
Yes, but I don't want. Did you want to ask me anything before?
I was just going to ask you, have you ever gone back to your hometown? Have you
Yes, but that's what I told you. Oh, afterwards.
No, after
No, to me it would be like going to a Bay Soilen without Mercedes. And I'm not interested to see the Hungarian people. First of all, it's too many years past, and secondly, it would only hold sad memories of the people I knew, my friends, my family, no one there. I mean, my father was 9 children, 9 siblings. The only one who remained was a sister who lived in America, and the same with my mother. She also had the same amount of siblings, approximately, and only 2 sisters remained in America. And everybody was killed. Their children and the children's children who were married and who lived and with whom I played, I found it very, very hard after they came to. I felt I felt guilty for having survived, simple, and I couldn't find myself a place. And I would ask, why, you know. But here I am, and I don't know why I survived. I didn't even write it. I wrote a little closure. It has taken me many years to get over my very painful past. Of course, I shall always miss all my beloved family, friends, and remember in what a terrible way they met their deaths. I shall also remember the hell I endured. But the grace of God and the passage of time, the raw wounds have healed. I once asked some member of my family why I had to survive. The answer was, so that you can help replenish our nation. It is mostly to my children, grandchildren, and especially to my great-grandchildren that I owe my present state. Not only are they loving, beautiful, they are all brought up in the Torah way, which was their ancestors' way. They are a credit to Kalal Yisrael. It is in a way a pity that Hitler did not live to see the nation he wanted to destroy and obliterate has in fact blossomed. There were never so many yeshivot, chaydorim, Jewish schools, and botal madroshim as there are now. Hatzolo, Seed, Dafayomi, etc. There is all kind of help for people who need help, and people give more tzedakah. Of course, not everybody belongs to this category, but I thankfully do, and it gives me meaning and value to my life. As time goes on, more and more join us by becoming Balei Tshuva. Many nations perished in the past, but we were promised by our holy God that the Jewish nation shall never perish. Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Schonfeld. We're very grateful
that
you've taken the time to be